Deep in rural Malaysia, there's a river known as Sungai Hitam, the Black River. It's not particularly wide or deep, but its reputation is chilling. The villagers whisper that this river has a will of its own. Unlike any other river that carries things away, Sungai Hitam returns what you try to bury in it. Objects, secrets, even bodies. Nothing stays hidden for long. The elders say the river remembers every single act committed near its waters. Some are convinced it's cursed. Others believe it's alive. Travelers who stumble upon it often talk about its unsettling stillness, as if the water itself is watching and waiting. This isn't just folklore. There are countless stories of returned burials, each one more disturbing than the last. The river doesn't forgive concealment. It exists to expose the truth. The first recorded incident happened back in 1983. A villager, heartbroken over the sudden death of his beloved dog, buried it near the riverbank. He hoped the sacred soil would keep his companion close. But the very next morning, he found the dog's body lying on his doorstep perfectly clean, dry, and untouched by decay. Utterly shocked, he buried it again, digging much deeper this time. Yet again, the body returned, placed neatly right at his door. In a desperate final attempt, he burned the remains and scattered the ashes into the river's current. That night, he awoke to a horrifying sight. The ashes were spread all across his bed. Terrified beyond belief, he abandoned his home and fled. That house still stands empty today, a place villagers refuse to go near. They say the river rejected his grief, refusing to let him hide it away. This was the first proof that Sungai Hitam doesn't accept offerings. It returns them. Years later, a powerful shaman decided to challenge the river. He attempted to cleanse it with a series of ritual offerings, burying coins, sacred herbs, and feathers along the bank while chanting prayers to appease whatever spirits dwelled within. That night, the river overflowed its banks. But it didn't just flood. It returned his offerings. They floated back and arranged themselves in a perfect, deliberate circle right outside the shaman's hut. He immediately understood this as a sign of anger. The river had rejected his attempt to control it. Just a few days later, his hut collapsed into a pile of rubble, even though there had been no storm, no wind, nothing. The villagers saw it as a clear punishment from the river. The shaman left and was never seen again. His story only reinforced the belief that Sungai Hitam cannot be bargained with. Rituals are useless. Sacrifices are returned. The river doesn't want your gifts. It only wants the truth. This strange phenomenon eventually attracted outside attention. In 2005, a team of paranormal investigators decided to visit Sungai Hitam to see for themselves. They devised an experiment, burying a sealed box filled with personal items or photographs, letters, and small trinkets. They set up cameras to record the burial spot around the clock. Just a few hours later, they found the box sitting on the riverbank. It was completely unopened, yet it had been moved. When they checked the footage, the exact moment the box should have been unearthed was just static, a glitch in the recording. The strange events didn't stop there. One investigator swore he heard his own name whispered from the water. Another saw a toy from his childhood, a toy he'd lost decades ago, floating downstream. The entire team left completely shaken. Their official report concluded that the river exhibits an intelligent resistance to concealment. They never came back. The villagers, of course, weren't surprised at all. To them, the river had simply done what it always does. It rejected what was hidden. Then, in 2011, a real tragedy struck the village. A local man drowned in the river. His family, desperate for privacy in their grief, decided to bury his body quietly near the riverbank. The next day, the entire village was horrified to find the man's corpse lying in the middle of the town square. It was clean, fully dressed, with its eyes wide open. No one could explain how it got there. Overcome with fear and shame, the family fled, abandoning their home. The grave they had dug remained empty. Villagers whispered that the river had once again rejected a burial, refusing to keep the body hidden from the world. Some even claimed that the man's spirit still walks through the square at night, dripping river water as he goes. This incident cemented Sungai Hitam's reputation as a place where secrets are impossible to keep. The river exposes everything that people try to bury. The behavior of Sungai Hitam is unlike any other river on Earth. On certain nights, villagers claim it flows backward, completely defying gravity and logic. The elders say this is the river rewinding time. One man swore he saw a vision of his younger self fishing at the bank, only to watch the image vanish into thin air. Another claimed the river whispered all his past sins to him, a torrent of guilt that forced him to confess everything he'd ever done wrong. He died the very next day. You see, the river doesn't just return objects, it returns the truth. It punishes deception. It exposes guilt. Its waters are ice cold even in the peak of summer, and no fish are ever seen swimming in it. Scientists have tested the water and found no toxins, no explanation, yet they report that the river seems to pulse as if it were a living, breathing creature. Anyone who stands near its banks for too long gets the chilling feeling that they being watched, as if the water knows every secret they hold. There's a story about a thief who thought he could outsmart the river. He tried to bury his stolen goods near the bank jewelry, cash, important documents. The next morning, he woke up to find every single stolen item nailed to his front door for the whole village to see. No one saw who did it. The thief fled in terror, but just a few days later, his house mysteriously burned to the ground. The villagers all said the same thing. The river punished him. Sungai Hitam does not keep secrets. It reveals them. Anyone who attempts to conceal something is exposed. The river doesn't allow deception to stay buried. It forces the truth out into the open, no matter what the cost. If you look closely at the river itself, its structure is just as strange as its behavior. The riverbed is lined with smooth, unnatural-looking black stones. No birds build their nests in the trees nearby. No animals ever come to drink from its waters. The silence is heavy and oppressive. Researchers have taken samples of the water and the stones, and they show no scientific anomalies. Yet, these same researchers report feeling utterly drained of energy after visiting, with one even saying the river feeds on memory. Another claimed it knows your identity. At night, some say the black stones seem to hum with a low, vibrating energy. A few villagers believe they are the bones of those the river has exposed, turned to stone over the centuries. Others think they are markers, recording every burial the river has ever rejected. Whatever they are, they only add to the river's terrifying aura. Over the years, the authorities have tried to tame Sungai Hitam. They tried to block it, building concrete barriers, and even planning to construct dams. Every single attempt failed. The barriers crumbled overnight. The dams would crack for no reason. The river would simply flood and carve a new path around their efforts, as if mocking them. It resists all control. The villagers eventually gave up, building their homes farther and farther away. But the river still reaches them. People who live nearby are haunted by dreams of dark water. Long-forgotten secrets resurface in their minds. Old guilt comes rushing back. The river doesn't need to be close. It flows through your memory. It returns what you bury even, if you only buried it in your mind. So, the next time you find yourself standing near a quiet, dark river, ask yourself a question. What have you buried? What secrets are you hiding? And if that river knows, will it return them? Because some waters don't just flow. They remember. Sungai Hitam isn't just a river. It's a mirror. It reflects everything you try to conceal. And once it knows your secret, it will never, ever let you forget. If you want more haunted stories like this, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Nature's Bite, because some mysteries refuse to stay silent.